Okay, here we are with our first match of the day, and this seems like a pretty reasonable hand. Not going to mulligan it. We have the Lotus Cobra, we have some Lightning Bolts if our opponent is playing creatures, as well as, 3 colors mana. We can't yet cast this Path to Exile, but the 2 Lightning Bolts probably make that okay. We're going to see how this goes. This deck is, I think, has a lot of power and can play a very good mid-range game. Is it better than some of the other mid-range options? Is it Jund, something like that? Probably not. But that's not really what we're going for here. We're trying to find decks that, we're trying to explore and find new things to do and bring to light. Taking a stock Jund or Abzan list and playing that, you're never going to discover what you can do with a card like Bring to Light in those decks. But if we take some chances here, we can with this sort of build. So there's a One-Stop Teeth, so that's pretty good. We'll aim to, depending on what we draw next turn, of course, play the Cobra. I mean, we have a turn 3 Thunder Maul with this hand, which is pretty solid, and we have removal before that. It's possible that I could have shocked myself here to have up Lightning Bolt, since the next turn we'll be playing Lotus Cobra, and then hopefully Thunder Maul after that. But, when your opponent leads on Wooded Foothills pass, I assumed burn. He looks like he may be on Living End, possibly? I'm not really sure what Blood Crypt Basic Mountain means. But we will find out very soon. Oh, it's Kiln Fiend. Interesting. Okay. Well, there's our fetch land. So what I'm actually going to do here is sort of awkward. We do just need to kill this. 3 removal spells against a Kiln Fiend deck is pretty good. So I actually, in an ideal world, we maybe would have shocked ourselves and bolted this and now untap into Cobra. But at the time, I sort of was putting him on some sort of burn strategy where I didn't want to shock myself. That said, now that he's just played Kiln Fiend, I don't want to play Cobra and then randomly die, because that's what this deck aims to do, is play Kiln Fiend and kill you. So I'm just going to bolt it, which allows us to play a tapped land after that, which I'll probably play as Flood Train and go get probably a red-white land, giving us access to the path and the Thunder Maul. And we're going to be slowing ourselves down a turn, but we'll be controlling the game by doing so. So I'm fine with this. Okay, looks like our opponent is Jataxian probing us. I feel pretty good about this game. I mean, this deck, if I understand it right, and this may be something we can play in the future, runs on Kiln Fiend and Blister Coil Weird. Of course, Kiln Fiend gets the big +3/+0 when he casts an into sorcery. Blister Coil Weird is the card, I believe, the one that untaps when you play an instant or sorcery and gets +1/+1. So it gets pretty big. So that's, that can be pretty scary. They may also play the card that, and I'm not remembering the name of it, that you can exile a spell from the stack to put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. And what that deck aims to do is play out that card, then play a bunch of cheap/free spells like Get Probe, etc., and then cast a red Storm card. I think it's 2 red, and it's target creature can't block this turn. It has Storm, but it puts, they put 3-4 copies on the stack, and you get to exile them all to your guy. All of a sudden, you have like an 8/9 on turn 2 or turn 3. So they're very much an all-in deck, and Lightning Bolt and Path to Exile is not what they want to see. But that's good for us, because that is what we have. Alright, so we're going to fetch here and just kill this Kiln Fiend. I will probably path it, both because it allows us to fetch the Sacred Foundry that we want, and because he's holding up something, which he shocked himself for, that may be to protect it, so I would like to play around that. If I try to bolt it and he has, something that gives it +2 plus brute force or something, we can play around that by just pathing the guy. Then on our turn, we'll aim to play Lotus Cobra, play the fetch land, but not crack it, probably. I may play the Overgrown Tomb tapped. We'll see. Depends how this goes. Apostle's Blessing to protect from it. Yep, great. Okay, so this gives it protection from white, which is also good, because if you assume that we're going to bolt something this game and we're going to path something, and he has this to protect against one of them, by leading with path, it means that the lightning bolt is what will resolve, which is good. It kills this guy the same as the path does, except he doesn't get a land out of this being the one that gets countered. So feel pretty good about that play. Our opponent's running out of cards. We are not. Alright, we can play the Lotus Cobra. We can play the Overgrown Tomb tapped, add red mana to our pool and bolt this. And our opponent is 2 Kiln Fiends down, and we get to untap into a Thundermaw Hellkite when he's at 10 life. So looking pretty good for the home team here. Speaking of home team, this is a big day for me. My son is 5 years old. 5 days old. Long way to go for 5 years. You can tell that's the sleep deprivation talking. After I released my video last week, my wife and I had the surprise of our first child coming 2 weeks early. So his name is Benjamin Hostler. He's inside sleeping right now while I record these. So hopefully my wife is sleeping as well. It's pretty crazy having a kid in my life, but you know, it's a good thing. So I share that one because, you know, our opponent is giving us some time too, but also I want these to not just be, you know, random faceless guys sitting at a computer playing Magic, and share my life with you. So yeah, here we go. Nivmagus Elemental. That's the one I was talking about. So the Death Shadow could also get big pretty fast here. We'll see how we want to play this. He's just got 2 cards in hand. I might do nothing. Play the Restoration Angel, but not attack, so as to not make this bigger. Depends what we draw here, and I'll explain what I'm thinking. Okay, that's perfect. So I'm going to play the Windswept Heath, not make any mana and pass the turn. At the end of his turn, I'm going to play Restoration Angel. And then we can untap, play Thundermaw since we have this land, and kill him. That's much better, I think, than playing the Thundermaw here, hitting down to 3, but making this thing huge and increasing the odds of us randomly dying. This way we can even block the Lotus Cobra on one of these and then blink it with our Restoration Angel and untap into the kill. Let's see what he can do, though. His deck's certainly very explosive. Surprisingly resilient, too. I mean, we had 3 removal spells this game, and he still has a board that, while not super powerful, you know, could get pretty scary. Yeah, 3rd Gitaxian Probe. Okay, yeah, he knows what's coming. We still have the same cards that we had, so he certainly knows our plan. He's knocked himself to 6. We're just going to end up chump blocking this, and it'll be fine. And then we'll have 2 flyers to kill him, so he'll need actual removal. Right, so block here. See what he does. This card's sweet. At the Modern Pro Tour for Oath of the Gatewatch, obviously everyone knows about Eldrazi. That was the deck that dominated. But Team Eureka showed up with a Death Shadow aggro deck, essentially a Zoo deck with Death Shadow and the Teamer Battle Rage combo, and it was very powerful. Fetch out some basics here. I mean, we didn't need to there, I guess. But that's fine. We could have got a fetch Shockland, put into play tap, but I don't think it's going to matter. Seem to have all the colors we need. The only thing I guess we can't cast is Obsidat if we were to draw it. Alright, so as it currently stands, we'll take 1. Yep, and that's enough for him to scoop. Alright, there we go. That's 1 down. Now let's get some more removal in if we can. Slaughter Pact does not deal with the... And this, not very good. They all have 2 toughness. Doesn't deal with the Death Shadow. The Slaughter Pact doesn't, but it hits the rest of them. Firewalker, actually pretty good against Kiln Fiend. But that's it. I mean, Lingering Souls is great. Just chump block his deck for days. The Thunderball may actually be just worse, although it kills him very quickly. Maybe Courser, although Courser trades with it. I don't know. Our deck actually just seems pretty good against Kiln Fiend deck. What do we want to take out? Take out the opposite out. We don't need to grind here. I guess the only other thing I'd think about, I mean, we'd like consider the Firewalkers or the Thoughtseizes. Just, I mean, this deck functions like a combo deck. Thoughtseize isn't bad, but I'll maybe come back to that on the play. Well, then again, if it's Kiln Fiend, it's a 2-drop. I don't know. I'm fine with this. Let's cut a Courser. Let's cut. And we cut another Courser. That's fine. Those are like the long card advantage engines, you know, for the long games, and we don't. You know, that's not what we're concerned about here. This hand seems pretty good. We are 100% the control deck in this scenario. Oh, and our opponent's mulling down to 5. So that's a good start for us. We're going to go Raging Ravine into fetch. Maybe a Plains? Maybe we'll fetch a Plains. But we'll have the turn 2 Cobra and then the turn 3 Lingering Souls plus Path. Opponent definitely doing himself a bunch of damage here early. Lava hacks himself on the first turn and he's got the Nivmagus. Okay. Well, this is a way to win. If somehow anybody doesn't know, Restoration Angel will blink Kiki Jiki, but when this is in play with the ability on the stack, you use Kiki Jiki. You have your Restoration Angel in play. You Kiki Jiki, making a copy of Restoration Angel. The copy comes into play, blanks your Kiki Jiki to make another copy. Repeat ad nauseum. So I'm trying to figure out if we just need to path this thing right away, or if we can get away with playing our Cobra. I think we just want to play this. I mean, there's a couple options there. You know, really, it's actually I could have played Path on turn 1, untap to play Cobra, have my third land be the Raging Ravine, but use the Cobra ability to cast Lingering Souls. That eats up our mana then, as opposed to this turn, but it may have been a reasonable line to take. I mean, our opponent mulliganed very hard. He has a 3/4 Nivmagus Elemental. That is growing rapidly. I guess the good news is playing our Path to Exile after he does all this. Oh, this is it. This is, okay. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. This is the Ground Rift. Target creature without flying can't block this turn Storm. So he's going to have copies of it. Which he will... I mean, here you go. It's turn 2. We played a tap land, and we're getting hit by an 11-12. So the good news for us is, I mean, we just untap. We fetch up a Plains. We path to exile this thing. Our opponent has no cards in hand. But you can see the explosiveness right there. Yeah, I actually think that had I planned out how this game was going to play out a little better, I would have just path the thing on turn 1 rather than hope to play Cobra on turn 2. On the other hand, this got him to sink all of his resources into that card and then allow us to kill it. So, you know, now he's got to rip off the top and we have Lingering Souls to chump block. I assume this means our Cobra will go right here. I don't know. He's at an uphill battle to face. Assuming if we fetch right, I mean, we're just a few turns away from winning. He takes the Cobra. Okay. There's a lightning bolt for insurance. Let's Go ahead and get this one. So we want the black to flash it back. I'm trying to figure out if we're shocking ourselves here with the Godless Shrine. Or I guess we need red mana and black mana, so Blood Crypt, but that's the one we don't have because there wasn't room for it. So, let's see. I think maybe we get the Godless Shrine. We play the Lingering Souls. This is our second red mana for Kiki Jiki, so then if we draw another land, and it's a fetch, we can go get the Sacred Foundry or whatever, so I'm fine with this. Yes, we are going pretty low on life, but he has no cards in hand, so he doesn't have any protection, so the spirits are going to do a pretty good job, and honestly, they'll kill him pretty fast. Yeah, and he's drawn a land, so... Okay. I think maybe... Oh, and I was searching with that Windswept Heath. We couldn't actually get the Blood Crypt anyways. So maybe I should have, especially now that I'm in this position. Interesting. I think I messed up. I should have played the Foothills. We couldn't get this, but we could have got something similar. And then we could have used this to fetch a basic, since we ended up not getting a red source with it anyways. I don't know. Because here we've drawn a red source, but we actually don't have the ability to cast Restoration Angel and Kiki, because we're just going to kill ourselves. So we're just going to flash back our Lingering Souls. See what I'm talking about? The mana base in this thing is not easy. That said, 7, get a forest, activate this. We have lethal next turn. Any shocks to make it even easier, fetches, yeah. So we, let's see, rips Pyroclasm or something here. He's just dead to our Lightning Bolt plus Lingering Souls. We won't even have to do anything else. It feels pretty safe. Yep, there we go. All right. Round 1 down, bring to light 1 and 0.